Is it sun bright or out on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, if you can't tell, I may sound congested. However, I am blaming that on the fact that I have one stuffy ear, and it's kind of making me sound a little bit more nasally. So it's a little bit more harder to catch myself, and I kind of hear myself talking. Sorry, that was my cat's hair, and I kind of hear myself talking as I'm talking, but I'm weirdly enough, I have gotten adjusted to it, but the pressure is kind of annoying. Anyway, I digress. Enough of me talking about my problems. Let me talk about Tabitha Brown. Now, two things. As you see, Mama Crone is not here. Sorry, Mama Crone. I apparently got her sick. My apologies. So she's not here to talk about Tabitha Brown, but I'll be talking about Tabitha Brown on her behalf and my behalf because this is one of those situations and instances where we see this situation from two different perspectives. And whose perspective am I going to get out first? I'm going to get out Mama's Crone's perspective because that's probably the more mature version to look at it anyway. But Mama Crone is able to see. Okay, if you are unaware, here's Tabitha Brown.
Hello there. Real quick, that this is not to discourage you, because I want us to be clear about that first, okay? You kind of been in this place for a long time, okay? Now listen, you got good ideas. Baby, you got good ideas. Your execution is not as good, okay? Your follow through, not as good. The ideas though are great. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and that doesn't mean it's not for you. But right now, these last few months, few years, you know what I'm talking about. Baby, it ain't been working for you, okay? And you doing a lot of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Okay, you done got yourself in some mess, and it's time for you to get a job. You hear me? You just gonna need to get a job for a little while. Okay, it don't mean your ideas ain't good. Okay, don't mean that maybe one day you could be a good entrepreneur. But you have proven to yourself and everybody else that you owe money to, okay, that it ain't working right now. Okay, it ain't worked for a while. It actually has never worked yet. Doesn't mean it won't ever work. But right now you need to go to work. You're gonna need to get a job, okay? And then keep working towards it. But at least you'll have a job while you are pursuing that thing. But right now, you need to get a job, baby. All right? That's it. I love you. Now go about your business. Okay, have a good night. Tomorrow have a good day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's here. Don't be mad at me. Okay?
So you saw what Tabitha Brown had to say. Now leave your comments down below how you feel before I tell you how Mama Crone felt, and then later down in the video how Baby Crone felt. But I guess I'll give you the general consensus of how people feel online first. Well, first off, everybody, and I kind of fall in there with everybody sees a problem with Tabitha Brown and her saying to basically work. And they are saying it. Now, I didn't see it from this perspective, but I get their perspective. Like I said, there's many perspectives on here. Tabitha Brown is a hot topic, a controversial subject at this point, because everybody's seeing it from a different perspective. So let's talk about it. All right. So first off, some people feel as though Tabitha Brown, as I don't want to say as an elitist that she is, but somebody who is of the elites or of the rich and wealthy that aren't like us, like Kendrick Lamar said. Tabitha Brown, she not like us. So because of that, she's speaking from the point of she not like us. That's how people are feeling. So they're just like, Tabitha, the message, we kind of get your message. We kind of didn't get your message. It wasn't well received because it came out your mouth. But also at the same time, you can't relate to us because you're not out here scrambling for a job as hard as we are out here in this economy. So that's how people are feeling with Tabitha. It's not as easy as you make it out here to be. So that's why everybody's trying to be self-employed and be their own entrepreneur. Hey, I get it. I get it. So that's how people are feeling online. How Mama Crone feels about it, though, on the flip side, is yes, she gets it. She gets what you guys are saying, but also at the same time, she could see what Tabitha Brown is also saying from her perspective, that it's Tabitha. Tabitha didn't mean it. Didn't wasn't like, or wasn't saying it to be rude, but just as a sense of, hey, if you're an entrepreneur, and she was specifically talking to those entrepreneurs that are apparently struggling and are choosing to struggle instead of getting a job. So that right there is, if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. And if it don't fit, don't try to make it fit. So because of that, she's specifically talking to a specific audience. So that's one thing that Mama Crone wanted to narrow down, is that Tabitha Brown is speaking to a particular audience. And therefore, because she's speaking to a particular audience, then that audience needed to hear, hey, if you're struggling as an entrepreneur and you are going in debt trying to fund your self-employed, then maybe consider outsourcing or having a second source of income, which, like I said, Mama Crone, that's a mature way to see it. I totally get that. But like Mama Crone says, if the shoe don't fit, then the shoe don't fit. And if it fits, it fits. So, some people are going to get upset about it. Then other people are going to be unfazed by it because, if she's not talking to you, why get upset about it? But if she is talking to you and you don't want to do the change that it takes to, or you don't like the fact that she's telling you to do this because of maybe her hierarchy status in this economy, well, maybe try to hear her out, kind of, sort of. 5. I hope I got that sentiment right, Mama Chrome, but that's like the best mature way I could possibly see that. Because you came from it from a very mature, understanding perspective. We wouldn't expect less from Lady Crone at all, do we? So, and when Lady Crone is back, she can dive more deep into her opinion about how she felt about that when we do our news recap. But the team is down at the moment. So because of that, that's how Mama Crone sees it. Just that Tabitha Brown was trying to give some sound advice, and she's speaking to a specific audience that needed to hear that sound advice. Now, me on the flip side, like I said, Baby Crone kind of fell in the everybody else category, where I caught an attitude, not because the shoe fits or it doesn't fit, but just because she reminded me of Kim Kardashian saying, get off your A and go F and work. I'm like, okay, what's with these celebrities telling us to go get jobs? What are you guys doing? That's my point of view. I'm not trying to get mad here or anything, but that's just my sentiment. That's why I'm just like, I'm kind of there with everybody, but it's just giving me flashbacks to Kim. And I had a problem when Kim said that, because she definitely did not. Both of them were tone deaf. In both situations, they were tone deaf. And they both were talking from their elite status. And they are both and they are both their own entrepreneurs that have been successful, that have a source of flow coming in. So of course they can tell the struggling entrepreneurs out there, go stop being an entrepreneur and go work a 9 to 5. Of course they can go tell you guys to do that because they're successful. So of course it's easy for them to say, if it's not working, too bad you didn't make it, go be a normie. That's what it gives me. Okay. So that's why I said it's a scale of how people are seeing this. I gave you everybody's perspective, the mature perspective, Lady Crone, and then Baby Crone's perspective as somebody that just consumes content and feels as though, I understand how everybody's feeling in this economy. It is not that easy to get a job, especially if you want to like go work in the government. But hey, teachers are opening. Go be a teacher. Apparently, nobody wants to be teachers. So hey, that's a job somebody could go out there and get. So I'm just saying, if you need a job, go teach. I'm kidding. But no, so that's the struggle out here. There's people are struggling to get jobs. Apparently AI is taking up all the jobs. Robots are replacing humans. So yeah, the only option is to be an entrepreneur and self-employed. If you can't get a 9 to 5, you gotta find a way to get money in somehow. If you don't, you're just gonna end up poor and homeless and on the street. So Tabitha, I don't know what you mean by give up or being an entrepreneur. Like, I'm sorry. Do you want us to be out there if I can? I need food. Is that what you want us to do, Tabitha? Like, I don't know. I just don't understand what you want people to do, because this is why people are trying to be entrepreneurs, because they can't get jobs. But I digress. I didn't mean to up in arms about it, but that's just pretty much what I had to say. And you saw, maybe that's maybe a bit immature. Maybe I do fall in the line of everybody else, and I just slightly see it differently. But like I said, there are a whole range of how people see it. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, let me know down below. How do you guys feel about what Tabitha Brown said? And now that I've shared all the perspectives, how do you feel about the perspectives in here? And does that align with you? Do you fit in one of these three categories? Or is there more categories about how people feel out there about Tabitha Brown? But she just gave me Kim Kardashian flashbacks, and I was like, so, yeah, that scared me. So, I was already turned off by that. So, I couldn't take the high road. Sorry, Mama Crone. But I get the sentiment though. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this recap. I sure did. And with that being said, we will talk about it yet again in news recap, and you'll get a better understanding about how Mama Crone feels about it. But I tried to give my perspective in there as well. You know, try to get a little bit in there, because we don't totally. Because I told her before I got on here, I'm gonna try to be unbiased, but she frustrates me. So she was just like, well, just try to, say, well, this is how Mama Crone feels and this is how I feel. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can give you the unbiased and then the biased. So I gave you everybody's opinion. So with that being said, please give this video a thumbs up. I already said to share your leave your comments, but share this with anybody that's into Tabitha Brown. Literally, share this with anybody that's into Tabitha Brown, so that way they can get a new perspective, different perspective. Sharing is caring, like they said. Oh, also, like I said, well, I didn't say, going back to Tabitha Brown, some people are also saying that Tabitha wanted us, the struggling people, to go and support her businesses in Target, and we was funding her, so she has the right to turn around and tell us to go work because we're struggling. Yet we gave you support. Collective we gave you support, and that's how you're going to give us support back, is to tell us to go work. Well, thank you for that. Glad you appreciate the work that we gave you. That's basically how some of the audiences is feeling. Now, me, on the other hand, weirdly enough, you could probably call this backwards, but I saw nothing wrong with what Tabitha Brown said at that time, because I get it. Even though Target was not supporting DEIs, still, you guys are making the black people that already, the black here we go again. You're making the entrepreneurs that are out there trying to make a business for themselves, and you're making them struggle by striking Target because they don't want to support them. Well, guess what? In retrospect, you're not supporting them, so their entrepreneurship is going down too. So they now have to go get a job, according to Tabitha Brown today. But guess what? Tabitha Brown didn't go through that because she begged you guys to go buy her stuff, so she didn't have to go out there and work. See how I feel? See how I feel? But at the time, I totally get Tabitha Brown. It was kind of making the black businesses suffer even more. That should have been the time you should have, hey, I get it. You're giving the enemy your money. It's going right in their pocket because it's going to Target. I get it. But still, they got to sell that stuff out at least. So the least you could do is could have helped them out by buying the products instead of it going to like waste and stuff like that. So all that to be said, I completely understand Tabitha then, but I can't understand Tabitha now. So maybe call it backwards, but that's just how I feel. So with that being said, now I've shared everything. Like I've said, like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you sunflowers in the next one. And please don't unsubscribe just because of my really biased opinion. I try to give you everything, and please don't unsubscribe just because you don't like what I said. Please and thank you. That's more important because I know she's so controversial. Please do not hate me. Okay. Sunflowers. Ooh. Sunflowers.